let's talk briefly on promotions in Jiu-Jitsu. Every school, every instructor looks for something a little different. Ultimately, I have 4 main pillars, 2 sub-pillars. Okay, so we have my 6 pillars of promotion in Jiu-Jitsu. So what I'm looking at, and keep in mind, this is all independent, right? Every person's on their own journey, on their own path. They're gonna learn at different rates. They're gonna take longer or faster. But the things I look at, we have my 4 main pillars. Okay, time in, mat time, right? How often are you showing up? How often are you putting in the work? Okay, someone who trains 8 hours a week for 1 year has more mat time than somebody who trains 1 hour a month for 10 years. It's just basic math and mat time, right? Somebody who comes in once a week and puts in a hard class has better mat time than somebody who comes in 3 times a week and kind of sits and meanders around, okay? So when I say time in, that's what I mean. It's hard work and mat time, okay? Mat time. Level of knowledge. Every martial arts system out there, you have a test per belt. And I think in Jiu-Jitsu, we tend to not do the belt tests so much. Some schools do, but overall, most people are awarded their belt just as their instructor feels fit. With that said, I believe you have to know Jiu-Jitsu. I know a lot of great grapplers who can beat Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts. That doesn't necessarily make them a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They may not be able to really show an effective armbar, a cross choke, or some fundamental sweeps. They might be good grapplers in their own right, but they can't show basic Jiu-Jitsu. They don't know it. They can't teach it, okay? So, level of knowledge, technique. How well do you roll with your peers? Okay, and this is a big one. Jiu-Jitsu still, for the most part, you have to be able to use it when it matters, right? A lot of the other martial arts, we can do my katas and I can punch the air and I can level up just through that. But in Jiu-Jitsu, it's always a 2-person thing, right? We don't have katas or forms in Jiu-Jitsu. So you have to be able to at least roll well, at least show some knowledge, some competency in Jiu-Jitsu with your peers in class, okay? And then we have tournaments. When I started Jiu-Jitsu, it was to compete. And most people who did Jiu-Jitsu when I started were competitors. Now it's changed. Probably 85% of my students don't compete or don't really come in with that desire. But competition's a big one, okay? So looking at the 4 pillars, if one pillar is weak, then the other 3 need to make up for it a little bit, right? If 2 pillars are weak, these 2 need to make up for it a lot. So what I'll tell you is the competition is typically that make or break pillar. Some guys don't compete well. Well, you better be able to roll pretty effectively in class. You better know more technique, and you're probably gonna take a little longer, right? Or if you don't roll well, I've had guys start in their late 60s. They're never gonna be like mat bullies or high-level competitors. So it's just gonna take a little longer. Their level of knowledge is gonna have to be a little better. But on the other end of that, I've had guys that come in and they're not the most technical guy in the world, but they are phenomenal at competing. Maybe they have a lot of wrestling or sambo or judo experience, and they come out and they win every tournament. You win 10 white belt tournaments in a row, you probably need your blue belt. You win 12 blue belt tournaments in a row, then we have to start looking at leveling up, okay? So if you're terrible at competition, hopefully these are a little stronger. If you're great at competition, these can be a little weaker, okay? So the 4 pillars have to level themselves out. Now I look at 2 others, okay? So probably ultimately the most important to me, especially as we get older, is continued growth. And what I mean by that is like, are you sharpening the techniques you already know? Are you continually learning and new techniques or modifying old ones? Are you doing things to make your body healthier, your mind healthier, to become a better person? Like continual growth, not just in Jiu-Jitsu, but in your personal life. And then moral compass. Obviously, bad people slip through the cracks every once in a while, but me personally, I like to surround myself with good, genuine people that help grow the academy, that help with the morale of everyone around them. So to me, when I'm doing promoting, I look at moral compass, and then continued growth is very important to me, along with the other 4 pillars. of time in, level of knowledge, classroom ability, and then competition. Ultimately though, those are my personal pillars. Again, every coach is different, every academy is different. Your coach might have different criteria for promotions. Your academy might have different criteria for the way they promote. My one suggestion to you, no matter what, don't go to your coach or professor and go, when am I getting my next belt? Don't worry about the belt. Don't focus on the belt. Focus on your continued growth and improvement. If you want to know how you can improve, what they want to see for you to get that next stripe, that next belt level, whatever it might be, that's an easy way to ask. Hey coach, what do I need to work on? Hey coach, what things do you see that I can improve on? Okay? Focus on your continual growth and improvement, and the belts will come.